So good morning, guys. So today I'm to speak about the topic that is Russia-China relationship and how this relationship is going to affect India's economy and India's position in the India's Russia's relationship. So first of all, how this relationship built from the last few years. We saw that when Russia invaded the Ukraine and after they invaded the EU and the USA put sanctions on the Russia's oil. So we knew that from that onwards means Russia had the sanction that they don't have the right to means supply. They don't have to sell their products to the means to the world market. So China saw the opportunity and the India means USA allowed India to purchase the oil from the Russia, and that time also emerged as a China emerged as a major player because China contribute about one third of the Russia's export at that. Russia import means Russia's trade at that time. China bought the crude oil, China bought the natural gas for their overall going development at this phase. So China want this and India also want this, but China and Russia relationship was growing day by day after their trades because they trade because most of the trade their trade is was going to about mostly than any other trading partner with the Russia means they trade about one third of the trade with means mostly we can say that Russia's trade with China and China's Chinese trade with Russia was more than about any other country in the world at that time. At that means wartime. So we saw that was a major thing that Russia and China was emerged as a major partner and the major friends in the geopolitics. So we have to understand that Russia and China relationship. So Russia-China relationship was developed from the last 5 to 6 years in the Russia invaded Ukraine. So means Chinese bought the Russian oil. They bought crude. Means they bought natural gas from the through the pipeline, like they say Power of Siberian. One Power of Siberian to these are the two projects that Russia supplied natural gas and the crude oil to the China. So this was the main thing that China is playing strategically with the Russia. Means they use their China's use Russia's position at a very low fee because they bought oil with very low price and they bought a million or billion of tons of oil from the Russia due to his position. So this was the means we can say that this was the major thing that a countries China's made a good friend with China's make a good friend with Russia. This was the main time when these two countries becomes very good friend. Okay, so we have to understand what is the India's position, and if we talking about these two countries, we have to understand that these countries, Russia and India, because these two countries, before the China becomes good friend with Russia, before that we were the good friends of the Russia, and we are now also a good friend of Russia. But we saw that the impact of our friendship was going we saw that our friendship with Russia is going below due to the sanctions that USA put on India. So we have to understand what is the India's and what is the Russia relationship. So Russia relationship, what is this question arise? Why India's wants Russia? Why Russia is so important for India? So we have understand first is defense equipment. Almost we can say 70% of our defense equipment is from Russia, like MiG 21, 28, Mi 17, Mi series, MiG series, BrahMos, T-90s, like Sukhoi 30. These are the fighter jets, S-400. These are the defense equipment that we purchased from the Russia. First of all, and second, we want to good relation with the we also have to good relation with Russia due to their hard parts. This is means Russia also supported India in the United Nations Security Council permanent seat. Means India want that we have also a permanent seat in the UNSC, and Russia also supported this that India also have a permanent seat in the UNSC. This thing, and Russia also support India on the behalf of the terrorism that India say that Pakistan is a terrorist country, that Russia also promoted, Russia also take the part, Russia also bolsters India to support terrorism, to support anti-terrorism. So this is the stance that Russia produces. Russia's crude oil, Russia's defense equipment, Russia crude oil, Russia defense equipment, Russia UNSC, Russia has a supports every time with India. And why India needs Russia and why Russia needs India, we understand. We understood that why India is Russian. Now we have to understand why Russia needs India. First of all, India is a very big market. So means most of the defense equipment Russia sells us to India. This is a big thing. And Russia and Indian Russia also make a very good impact on the another technology, and they have very good strategic diplomatic relation with them. We have the cooperative with them in the space technology. We have with the Ralus agreement with the Russia. We have a logistic support agreement with also in the Russia. So these are the relationship that we have with Russia, and we don't forget how India's and Russia's relationship in today's now. But there is a China's emerging economy. China's emerging, not is emerging economy, but China's emerged economy. So they have to see their what they want from Russia. Like now our question is what China needs from Russia and why China needs Russia and why Russia needs China. So this is a question. So why China needs Russia? Why does China needs Russia? First of all, they want crude oil, they want natural gas, they want defense equipment from the Russia, because Russia is a very powerful country. They know that, and China, India is all the major economies. They know that the Russia is the growing and competitor, is the only competitor to US. That's why US not a very reliable partner, but Russia is. That's why most of the countries their defense want, their crude oil and the natural gas. That's it China want. And why Russia China? Because China is a good market. China is a good market. Why Russia needs China? China is a China is a big market. Okay, China is a big market. Russia needs technology, because in the today's world we see that rare earth mineral was, this is a concept that every countries want. So Russia is the largest reserve of the rare earth mineral. So Russia want technology, Russia want Chinese market, Russia wants capital. So that's why both countries fulfill their needs. That's why we saw that they emerged as a major trading partner with each other. So now our question is what India should take, means what is our relationship with the Russia. We have good relationship with Russia. We had a good relationship with Russia, and now we also have a good relationship with Russia. But why always China's want? Why does, because there are also disputes with the, no, this is not the type of question that I want, but I want to say that no one what India is saying and how India is reviving its partnership with the Russia. This is the main question, because we see that the major organization that Russia, China, India are cooperating with each other in SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, in the BRICS countries, BRICS grouping. So these are the groups when we saw, means these are the major groups that Russia's control, like SCO, Shanghai Cooperation. It is a major city in the China. So uh, China control most of the countries in there. If we're talking about the BRICS, BRICS also controlled by the Russia. So BRICS also controlled by the Chinese. So we saw that these, how China plays a major role in the friendship between these two countries, India, between these countries like Russia and China, and how India, they also seen India as a major growing threat between these two partnership, between these two trading partnership. So India have to take stance with the Russia, because India needs development, India needs